So we're going to look at some ideas for how to use techniques that use the knee pull, right? The knee pull that I would use when I try to break someone's posture when they're standing in my guard, finding that same movement in a couple of similar sweeps. So first of all, just going over the knee pull itself, okay? If my partner is just sitting here for right now, the knee pull, remember, is my knees to my shoulders, but my shoulders also to my knees, right? So I want to be really using my core, activating my core. So I'm going to bring my partner towards me and myself towards my partner when I do my knee pull, okay? Now, when we're doing this to break somebody's posture, the easiest time or the ideal time is when they're shifting their weight, okay? It's also the most important time because he's going to be shifting his weight when he means to stand up. So my goal when I lock somebody in closed guard is to keep him on his knees, okay? As long as he's on his knees, he's not practically going to be opening my guard. So I want to keep my partner on his knees, so when he starts to build up his base to go to stand, I want to start bringing my knee pull in right away, okay? And the kind of the last good chance I'm going to have to do it is as he's stepping one of his feet to begin to stand up, okay? So as my partner starts to shift his weight to start to stand, okay, the best, if I don't get it early, go ahead, as he starts to shift and take a step is going to be the best time to bring him down, okay? Bringing my knees towards my chest. So that's number one. Most important, your best idea, don't let him stand up, right? Now, we're going to go over a few other sweeps. They're all going to be kind of like connected to the overhead sweep, so we'll show overhead sweep first, okay? As my partner goes to stand up, especially if they're good, if they're quick, like I lock my closed guard, yeah, he's going before I set up anything. I'm going to grab sleeves, okay? And as my partner gets up, I can use that moment to get my feet on my partner's hips, okay? Now remember, when I go for an overhead sweep or any of these backward rolling types of sweeps, I cannot try to initiate any lift with my legs until his head is directly over my head and his hips are directly over my hips, okay? So you do not try to lift right here, because even if I successfully lift, he's out kind of like on that end of a teeter-totter, right? So even if I lift him up a little bit, we're going down this way, okay? So the first movement here is always going to be to pull my partner over me. Once he's directly over me, it's very easy to control my partner's weight. As I bring his hands out of the way, now here, look, this is the other thing I want you to remember. The sweep goes this way. I'm trying to get away with as little lift as possible. Because now as I bring him over the other end of the teeter-totter, he starts to carry me over. If I can do it slowly, that's going to indicate that I have good mechanics. Okay, so it's not about throwing them with your legs. I want to barely lift him up, and I want to extend him this way until his weight actually starts to carry us over and we roll easily. Okay, my partner starts to go to stand up, I grab the sleeves, feet. Okay, from here, sometime, you might not get it right away, of course. Maybe you push and you bring back in here. Okay, now, as I bring the hands out of the way, I point my big toes. I really think about my big toes pointing right where I want them to land, right near my shoulder. So I get my head out of the way, I point my big toes, and if everything's going right, I can do it nice and slow and smooth. Okay? From here, I open up, I let go of his hips, so I can keep my hips low as I come in for the finish. Okay? Next one. We're going to try the variation, the Holetta sweep. Functions the same exact way, but I'm going to use a pinching motion of my shins is going to replace the feet on the hips, okay? This is tough. I have to be really active, really squeezing, because the squeeze itself is going to replace that connection of pressing or lifting with my feet, okay? So as my partner goes to stand up, if his posture comes too far forward, here, I pinch with the shins and bring my partner over the top. Okay? Now, one more time on that one. I'll try to put a link in the description. There's the famous instance of this, of Holetta doing it to Salo. it leads really naturally into arm bars and belly down arm bars, okay? So for instance, when my partner goes stand up, I'm able to catch here, as we come over, okay, there's the belly down arm bar is right there, especially if they give a push, all right? Now, let's see, next one. The Holetta sweep, that one with the shins, it's tough. It's probably the most difficult one to actually execute from this series. But what I find I get a lot from this one is off a failed one. When my partner goes to stand up, I try it, okay, and it doesn't work out. Maybe he even gets his hands to the mat. Okay, boom, yeah. But look how it stepped his feet close to me, and my knees are right in position for a quick ankle sweep. All right, and then let's face this way. Yeah, and then same deal as I come up. Yeah, if this happens very commonly, even people who know not to do this, in that quick 1-2 sweep action, they get a little bit frantic, and you have your belly down again right there. Okay, so a little bit faster. That one will look like this. Okay, from here, I try that, doesn't work. Boom, as I come up, we have the belly down. All right, now, so let's see, we have the same motion, the same knee pull to break posture for the overhead sweep, for the Holetta sweep. Now, when my partner gets all the way standing up inside my close guard, okay, and he's beginning to break my guard, right? This one is based off of what type of guard break he likes to employ. But some people like to do this one where they start putting their knees kind of tight into your hips, yeah, and they start to want to squat, right? Anytime I feel both of his knees on my hips like this, I'm going to quickly open my guard and trap. Okay, now from here, I'm squeezing my guard tight. I'm trying to press all of our knees together. From here, you might be able to tip somebody over sideways. One step better than that is I'm going to use my knee pull. I'm going to bring his knees, like I actually want his knees on my chest, okay? Now you see how this brings his feet off of the mat, right? Now from here, I can almost certainly tip him over sideways. But again, even better, if I start to point him over my shoulder, okay? That's the strongest finish, that backward roll over the shoulder. So one more time on those. The biggest detail on this one is don't try to tip them sideways right away. Get their knees on your chest. It takes their feet off of the ground. Okay? So my partner goes up. He tries to break my guard by putting his knees in. Trap. All right? From here, if you just remember, get their feet off the ground with that knee pull. Okay? From here, I'm holding my partner up. Okay? He's falling on his own right now. Okay? But so you can see the position, I'm holding him in place. But now as I start to point my feet over the shoulder for the backward roll. Okay? So the main things to remember for these types of sweeps are do not lift, and especially don't lift before their head is over your head, their hips are over your hips. Okay? Number 2, the sweep is not an up and over arcing motion. I want to think about his head and hips as much as possible traveling directly parallel to the mat. Okay? 2 big things to remember. I think you'll have an easier time hitting those sweeps.